Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Usama Sayyid from islamafterahmadiyya.com. Today's video we show proof, obviously, that the Ahmadi organization actually believe in a different kalima, the La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They believe in a completely different meaning than what normal Muslims believe. Normal Muslims believe La ilaha illallah means there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet, and obviously his messenger. And obviously when Muslims say that, they also mean that Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ is the last messenger sent by Allah with the last message for the human race, as Islam came for the whole of human race, not like Christianity or Judaism. For example, like Prophet Jesus came for Bani Israel, people of Israel. But Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ came for the whole of mankind, and this is Allah's final message to the human race. And this is what all Muslims believe. I'm going to show you now from the son of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. His name is Bashir Ahmad M.A., also known as Hideous. He's got a hideous title, which is Qamar al-Anbiya, which is Moon of the Prophets. And you ask yourself, where on earth has he earned that title from? And where, it's just like make believe, just say anything, give yourself any title. He wrote this in a book called Kalima al-Fasl. I'm going to start with page 158 of that book. And you're going to have it on screen now. Obviously, I'm going to be saying the translation in English. So here we go. Yes, due to the advent of the promised Messiah, a difference has cropped up in the meaning of the kalima. Before the appearance of the mission of the promised Messiah, the words Muhammad Rasulullah included in their meaning only such messengers as had preceded him. But after the mission of the promised Messiah, one more messenger has entered into the meaning of Muhammad Rasulullah. One more messenger has entered into the meaning of Muhammad Rasulullah. Therefore, on account of the incarnation of the promised Messiah, the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah does not become abolished. It rather shines more brightly. In short, the same kalima is effective even now for embracing Islam, with the only difference that the incarnation of the promised Messiah has added one more messenger to the meaning of Muhammad Rasulullah. The only difference that the incarnation of the promised Messiah has added one more messenger to the meaning of Muhammad Rasulullah. I follow on here. Moreover, even if we accept by supposing the impossible that the sacred name of the merciful Prophet has been included in the kalima because he is the last of the prophets, even then no difficulty arises, and we do not need a new kalima, because the promised Messiah is not a separate entity from the merciful Prophet, as he, Mirza Ghulam, has said, my entity has become his entity, as in the Holy Prophet's entity. And he who makes a distinction between me and Mustafa has not recognized me nor has seen me. And the reason for this is that Allah Almighty has promised that He would reincarnate the last of the prophets, Khatam Nabiyyin, to this world once more, as it is evident from the verse Akharin Minhum, which is in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, others of them. Thus the promised Messiah is himself Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah. Thus the promised Messiah is himself Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah, who had come to the world again to spread Islam. We do not, therefore, need a new kalima. A new kalima would have been necessary if some other person had been reincarnated instead of Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah. So contemplate. Where do you begin with this thing? It's self-evident, it's self-explanatory. Everything I've said, I've repeated, some important things, from this page 158, Kalimat al-Fasl. Any Muslim listening to this, you're probably enraged, I understand. you are enraged, and rightfully so, because look at this copycat Mirza Ghulam of Qadian, this founder of the Ahmadiyya organization. Look at look how he went past all boundaries. He went past all boundaries, and now he's got his son Mirza Bashir Ahmed MA, who's got this hideous title of Moon of the Prophets, Qamar al-Anbiya. Moon of the Prophets. What on earth did he do to deserve that? Have you ever heard of any other people called Moon of the Prophets, at the time of the Holy Prophet, or even after the Holy Prophet ﷺ? Where did these hideous titles come from? It's just from the Ahmadiyya organization. They've made them up. And look what he's writing here. He's writing that the Ahmadi organization, their core belief in the Kalima is different from, ordinary Muslims. So yes, the words are the same. Once again, the Ahmadiyya organization has done a really snaky thing, where they say to you, no, we believe in the same Kalima. But do you believe in the same meaning as the Kalima? No, you don't. So say the truth and finish your whole sentence. Say, we believe in the same, we keep the same words, but we've changed the meaning. Say this to all your followers. Ahmadiyya organization needs to say this to all their followers. Again, put this sort of thing on MTA, put it up on your websites. You have changed the meaning. The Ahmadiyya organization has changed the meaning of the Kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, as evident from what I just read here. Kalimatul Fasl, page 158, which is up on the screen right now. They have changed it, and it with the most ridiculous reasoning. How can you claim to be Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ by saying, I'm just so obedient and I love the Holy Prophet so much that I am now either on a par with him or I am him even? How could you say such a thing? Imagine yourselves, if any of you understand, watch football, soccer. One of the best players in the world right now, Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. He's a Portuguese player. Imagine a pretender says, I've got all Ronaldo's previous shirts, I've got all his matches, I've got all his games, all his goals on video, I've been watching him so much, I've learned everything from him, I love him so much that I now have become him, and I'm the second coming of Ronaldo. And this guy, he's probably fat, probably can't even run, he can't even kick a ball, he doesn't even know how to play football. But it's all in his brain. He's just claiming all this stuff without real evidence, without him actually being that level of Ronaldo. Just words, just empty words. Excessive love. I love Ronaldo so much that I've actually become one. I am him. And if you think there's a difference between me and Ronaldo, then you haven't seen Ronaldo and you haven't seen me. They're both the same people, the same person. Do you see how hideous that example is? This is exactly precisely what Mirza Ghulam, this deluded person, deluded liar from Qadian, this is what he has come, and this is his message of true Islam. This is his message right here. They have changed the kalima of the Muslims, they have changed it. And you see the Ahmadiyya organization always showing you propaganda and videos with all this sad poetry or sad music in the background, showing you that, for example, in Pakistan and in other Asian countries, people take down the kalima from in front of the Ahmadi organization mosques. They take down the kalima because they know that the Ahmadiyya organization has changed the meaning. And yet the Ahmadiyya organization has never actually told their followers that they have actually changed the meaning. And the followers would actually probably realize it. They would probably say, what? Fair enough. We're basically messing with something that should never be messed with. So the other people who take the kalima off the mosques in Pakistan, for example, they are angry because we've changed the meaning. But the followers of Ahmadiyya have no clue. They have no clue, and they've never read these books. For example, here, page 158 of Kalimatul Fasl here, by Mirza Bashir Ahmed, the son of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed of Qadian. They have no idea. They're just angry and upset, and they get emotional every time they hear that, someone scrubbed off the kalima or painted over it or something like that. They have no idea that actually this is the reason why. Because those people know what the Ahmadiyya organization has done. They fool the world. They continually say misguided, they don't say straightforward statements. They tell you, we've never changed the kalima, but you've changed the meaning. Say the truth. Complete the whole picture for people. Complete the whole picture. This is again one of Mirza Ghulam, his failure, his failed tactics, because he's a failure of a lawyer. He tried to pass the test, to be basically a lawyer in India, and he failed it. So maybe he thought, I've picked up some sort of habits of a lawyer, of how to play with words and how to say partial truths. This is a partial truth. We haven't changed the kalima, But they don't finish and say, but we've changed the meaning of the kalima. This disgusts me, and of course you listeners, and probably many Ahmadis have never known this sort of thing. You're probably disgusted right now. Go check it yourself. It's at alislam.org. This is where all we get these papers from, these pages from. It's from the official Ahmadiyya website. I move on now to page 113. Again, this page is 113. It's before page 158, which I just read, where this Mirza Bashir Ahmed MA talks about the change of the kalima, the meaning of the kalima. Obviously I wanted to start with that to give you like a very serious piece of evidence in the beginning, and now show you how he sort of lays down the groundwork. This is page 113. So it's like 45 pages prior. Page 113 goes as follows. Obviously, we're reading. I've got part, just a few lines of it. I'm not reading the whole thing because not absolutely everything is pertinent to the point that I'm trying to make in this video. So I'll start with it now. Every prophet was granted accomplishments and perfections according to his capacity and performance in varying degrees. But the promised Messiah was granted prophethood when he had attained all the accomplishments of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and was qualified to be called a shadow prophet. Thus, this shadow prophethood did not make the steps of the promised Messiah lag behind, but it pushed them forward to such an extent that it brought him on equal footing with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On equal footing. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad has been pushed forward, and he is now on equal footing with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let that sink in. What exactly has Mirza Ghulam done that can even put him on 5% equal footing with Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What has he done? And I'm not going to go through all this stuff before, because we've got previous videos. Check our previous videos out where we show that Mirza Ghulam claims to be higher than Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all this sort of thing. You can check those videos. You can hear the evidence and see it on screen and everything. I'm not going to go through it all now and keep repeating it. But you can look at our videos and think to yourself, how on earth this man Mirza Ghulam, who says I'm the dust on the Holy Prophet's feet, how on earth has he now become on equal footing? How is he now on equal footing with the Holy Prophet of Islam? How? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that question. Now, I will read from another book. This is actually by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad himself. It's called Tuhfa Golarviya, page 248. And this is obviously from Ruhani Khaza'in, volume 17. Here we go. Every prophet had one advent, but our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had two advents. And the verse وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ confirms this. This is from Surah Al-Jum'ah in the Quran. All the biggest mufassirin, Quranic scholars, regarding this verse, write that the last group of this ummah, in other words, Masih Ma'ud's Jama'at, will be in the form of Sahaba. And just like the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, without any difference, will attain guidance, hidayah, from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this light, we carry on obviously the next page now. In this light, one must believe in another advent of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which will be in the latter days in the time of Masih Ma'ud. The Holy Prophet had two advents. In other words, you may say that one mission was in the reincarnated form. It was promised that the Holy Prophet would be sent to the world once again, and this was fulfilled by the advent of the promised Messiah and the promised Mahdi. It is strange that stupid Maulvis or stupid clerics are waiting for the coming of Hazrat Masih, Jesus, Prophet Jesus, Ibn Maryam. But the Quran gives glad tidings of the return of our Prophet. Now, subhanallah, I will carry on, obviously, I'm going to carry on now reading from Kalimat al-Fasl, page 104. Obviously, I will talk a little bit how the Ahmadiyya organization, Mirza Ghulam himself started it, obviously. He had the audacity to take Surah Jum'ah from the Quran and change parts of the meaning of it to try to say that this is proof that that there is a second coming of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and that he, the Mr. Genius from Qadian, he figured this out even though Islam had already pre-existed for 1300 years before him. 1300 years before him, the Quran was there and Islam was in existence, and yet they needed a genius from Qadian called Mirza Ghulam Ahmad to come and change the meaning of Surah Jum'ah and tell you that this is actually proof of the Holy Prophet coming again in his form, of all people, but in his form. So I start again here. So Kalima al-Fasl, page 104. This is written again by Bashir Ahmed M.A., the son of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Friends, where you have believed Ahmad to be the complete buruz of Muhammad, so what is stopping you from believing the deniers of Ahmad to be the complete buruz of Muhammad's deniers? And also focus on this point, that Allah Ta'ala has mentioned the second advent of the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the Quran, in which it says, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليه آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب. This is from Surah Al-Jum'ah. Obviously I'm not going to read the whole verse, but this is what he's referring to. In this verse, Allah Ta'ala has clearly stated that just like the Holy Prophet ﷺ was sent to the unlettered people, yani the people of Mecca, as a Rasul, in the same way, he will be sent to another group of people who have not been born into the world yet. But because it goes against the law of nature for a person who has died to return to the world, because Allah has clearly stated in the Holy Quran, هُمَّ لَا يَرْجَعُونَ. So obviously those do not return, those who are dead don't return. So this promise can only be fulfilled when, for the second advent of the Holy Prophet, such a person is chosen who has taken full part from the Holy Prophet's Kamalati Nubuwwat, complete prophethood. Such a person who is mushtabah in husn and ihsan and guidance of khulq Allah, and who excels in the Holy Prophet's following or itba', to the extent that he becomes a living picture of the Holy Prophet. So without doubt, without raib, the coming of such a person into the world is the coming of Nabi Kareem himself into the world. And because of the mushabat tamma, no difference remains between Masih Ma'ud and Nabi Kareem. No difference remains between Masih Ma'ud and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So both beings are that of one wujud, one existence. Again, I have itself, what I've just read out now, self-explanatory. You can rewind it if you wish. It's on screen, obviously, the Urdu pages are there. But take from this that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, obviously this is his son writing here, and obviously they're all the same organization, got the same beliefs. That here, this Mirza Bashir M.A. is saying that Mirza Ghulam equals the Holy Prophet ﷺ. No difference remains between Masih Ma'ud and the Holy Prophet. No difference remains between Masih Ma'ud and the Holy Prophet. This totally unacceptable, un-Islamic, and it's actually corruption of our deen. Absolute corruption of our deen. And that's why you realize some Ahmadis, if you're listening to this now, some Muslims who are aware of these writings, that's why they have so much anger towards Mirza Ghulam of Qadian. And I am one of those people. I'm angry at Mirza Ghulam of Qadian, obviously. I'm not angry at normal Ahmadis because you don't know this stuff. You don't know this. And if you do know it, well, obviously I've got anger towards you, but may Allah guide you and show you that you are not following Islam. That's if you believe these things are true. May Allah guide you and show you that you're not following true Islam, and help you to find the true Islam by removing Ahmadiyya from your life. I move on now, still Kalimatul Fasl, but this is page 105, obviously part of it again, because we're trying to show the relevant parts that are pertinent to this video, the subject of this video. Page 105. So in light of this, does any doubt remain that Allah has sent Muhammad again, Muhammad ﷺ again, in Qadian, to fulfill his promise of آخرين منهم? Let that sink in once again. These pauses, they're intentional. I let that sink in again. So in light of this, does any doubt remain that Allah has sent Muhammad again, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam again in Qadian? Allah has sent the Holy Prophet again in Qadian, Qadian, India, to fulfill his promise of آخرين منهم. So once again, that was page 105 from Kalimat al-Fasl. Of course, we've presented, obviously in our other videos, we've presented the good evidence to show you that Mirza Ghulam, he wrote that he believed his coming in the 6th millennium was more complete, more stronger, more fierce than the coming of the Holy Prophet in the Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the 5th millennium. And once again, guys, listeners, all of this is written over the course of, like I've just summarized it very quickly for you, just what I've just said now, where Mirza Ghulam says his coming is more complete, stronger, more fierce. I've got to the point for you. I've got straight to the point of what Mirza Ghulam takes 4 or 5 pages to say. Because, we'll put the pages up, you can see them in our other video, the Mirza Ghulam claiming to be higher than the Holy Prophet ﷺ. But I'm trying to help you understand what he's writing, because he writes, what I just said, that he writes that in 4 or 5 pages. So he goes round and 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 round, 4 or 5 pages, and then, bling, the light switched on. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, his coming is more stronger, more complete, and more fierce than the coming of our beloved Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of Islam, the one and only brought us the Quran and the whole religion of Islam from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what he gets to in the end. And obviously, I want to add something to that, because obviously I've said that, I've mentioned this in another video, but I wanted to add something to that this is from the same Khutbah Ilhamiyya. And Mirza Ghulam writes that there was an empty space for 1 brick. And you guys, you listeners right now, you know what I'm going to say. And he is that final brick. Mirza Ghulam has copied the Holy Prophet ﷺ, because the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that he is the final brick, in terms of he has got you now the final guidance from God, the system of life, the book of Allah, comprehensive, to help human beings live properly with love, loyalty and respect for each other. And he stated that he is the final brick, as in there's no more messengers after him, no more messages after him. Don't get misguided, stay on the path of Islam, follow his sunnah, Holy Prophet's sunnah ﷺ, and the Quran, teaching the Quran, which is Allah's teachings, and you're going to be alright. So he said Muhammad ﷺ is the last brick. He was the last brick, right? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad here in Khutbah al-Hamiyya says somehow he made space for another brick. Somehow he made space, and he claims that there's still an empty space for 1 more brick to go there. The Holy Prophet told you there are no more spaces, the last brick's been put in. No. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad has created another space for a brick, and he says that he is that final brick. Yes, he does say it, and it's on screen, and you can see it, inshallah. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad says that he is the final brick. So even that, my dear listeners, you see how much he has copied the Holy Prophet ﷺ. You'd have to think to yourself, was he just jealous of the Holy Prophet ﷺ? Maybe he was so jealous that the Holy Prophet ﷺ had so much people love. People we have never met the Holy Prophet ﷺ, but we love the Holy Prophet so much. And why do we love him so much? Not because we're told to love him. It's because we have heard his life stories. We've heard about his struggles. We've read about his struggles. We heard about what sort of a honest, lovely, beautiful, trustworthy character he was. What a sacrificial character, personality that he was. He used to give everything for people. He was honest with everyone. And that's why when his message came, a lot of people straight away, they accepted, because they said, this man doesn't lie. And we love Sayyidina Muhammad because of that, because he earned our love. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, I would guess, I'm having a little guess, he was just simply jealous. He couldn't take it that people hold the Holy Prophet so highly, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so highly, that he kept, he wanted to be like, I am him as well. If you make a distinction between me and him, you haven't seen us. I'm his exact reflection. And then that he tells you that his coming is more complete and stronger, more fierce. So he started, if you follow the videos that we've made, Mirza Ghulam started as the dust on the Holy Prophet's shoes. He slowly climbed upwards, made himself, I'm the same, I'm a reflection, I'm Buruzi, we are the same, you can't make a distinction between us. And then he's actually excelled, apparently. He's excelled the Holy Prophet because his coming, according to him, is more complete, more stronger, more fierce than the coming of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's eventually started from the bottom. He's like, he climbed a career ladder or something. Gradually just gave himself all these little promotions. And obviously in his writings, he's always claimed that God told me this and God told me that. It's all a bunch of rubbish because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never send such a worthless, liar, deluded, illness-ridden human being who needed to take opium and take arak for his pain or whatever, and they're all hallucinogenic items. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never send Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as the Mahdi, the guided one who is supposed to help fix and repair Islam and not misguide people further and cut Ahmadis off from the Muslim Ummah and do their whole separate thing of don't pray janazah, don't pray behind normal Muslims. And obviously he made normal Muslims kuffar. He's taken us outside Islam because we believe in the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We only believe in the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's actually taken us out of Islam. And Surah Al-Jum'ah, I'm sure if any of you pick up a variety of non-Ahmadi Quran translations with tafsir, you will see that contrary to these claims that all the scholars believe that this complete lie. This scholar, obviously I read it earlier, that all the scholars believe that the coming of Sayyidina Muhammad is foretold. The second coming of Sayyidina Muhammad is foretold in Surah Jum'ah from the Holy Quran. They don't believe that. That's a pile of rubbish because that never existed in Islam. And this idea never even came to anyone's mind before Ahmadiyya, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and all his nonsense that he's come out with, and that he is actually the second coming. Surah Jum'ah, it talks about the people, for example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have the Quran, the Holy Quran here, 1 second. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. Now these Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's group, him and his son and all the other people, his little followers, the ones that obviously you can call them Khalifas. I don't call them Khalifas, but the leaders of Ahmadiyya or whatever. They keep on telling you وآخرين منهم وآخرين منهم, of those people, of others of them. This does not mean a second coming of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. It means that the message of the Holy Prophet ﷺ will reach the people who are in and around the Holy Prophet ﷺ in his time while he's alive, and it will also reach the people who have not yet, they weren't in the presence of the Holy Prophet or ﷺ, or they haven't yet heard the message of Islam. Because, for example, think about it. Islam came with the Holy Prophet ﷺ in Arabia. What about the people in North America? What about the people in far Asia? China, for example, India. So these are the people who are still to receive the message of Allah, the guidance of Allah, the Holy Quran, and hear the message of the original only one, Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, not Mirza Ghulam, the second coming. It's Surah Jum'ah again. Jum'ah is Salat al-Jum'ah. The Jum'ah is the special week, a special day in the week for the Muslims, where we have the congregational prayer once a week. We have the khutbah, and it's something to join the communities together. The people who. So obviously, it's talking about the sense of community and the people who have yet to hear about Islam and the message of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, this is what this surah is about. The whole misuse of this translation and the change of the tafsir that the Ahmadiyya organization has done, beginning with obviously Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and the people who followed him, who had authority, obviously, like this Mirza Bashir, MA, this self-called Qamar al-Anbiya. The way they have unashamedly taken pure verses with pure meanings, and actually quite straightforward meanings. The meaning of this surah is quite straightforward, especially that verse, وَآخِرِينَ مِنْهُمْ. The understanding of it is quite straightforward. It does not mean a second coming of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It does not mean that. And I need any Ahmadis who are listening, please go and check and compare the normal mainstream Muslim Sunni Quran tafsir for this, for example, this verse, or even the whole surah, and look at why this surah was revealed and what's the underlying theme of this surah, and you'll understand that it's all about building a sense of community with the Muslims. Talking about why is it called Jum'ah for? Why is it called Friday congregation for? Why isn't it called the second coming of Muhammad or something like that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the return? It's called Jum'ah because it's focusing on this sacred day, this special day, which is Friday for us. The Friday where we congregate, we pray together, we read Quran together, we say salam to people Muslim brothers that we don't even know. This is building a sense of community and respect amongst each other, and it's such a special day for us. We go to Jum'ah, we clean ourselves, wear fresh clothes, put a nice, perfume on. Even if you're poor or you're rich, wear nice clothes, clean clothes, your best clothes. And you go to Jum'ah. Why? For that whole sense of community, for that to receive, to listen to a lovely khutbah, to get some sort of guidance, to gain some knowledge, from the Imam. That's Jum'ah for us. It does not mean, the Ahmadiyya organization and Mirza especially, he probably had a lot of help, I believe, from the first leader of Ahmadiyya. They were both friends, obviously, and I think he had a lot of information about, because I think he studied in Saudi Arabia, and these two people, they probably went through the whole Quran, the Holy Quran, and tried to find any verses that could be taken to mean something else which is in favor of Mirza Ghulam's claim. They've done it with Surah As-Saff in the Quran, where it says that there's glad tidings of a prophet called Ahmad, and that's referring, by the way, guys, just in case if you don't know, that was referring to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, because it refers to, when it says it in the Bible about a prophet after Jesus called Ahmad who's coming. That verse is meant only for the Prophet of Islam, Sayyidina Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only for him. But again, because it said Ahmad there, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, it's not even genius, it's not even clever, it's so like childlike. It's so very, very expected of someone who's trying to be a copycat, basically. It's so easy, you just think, yeah, he's definitely going to take that verse and try and put it for himself, and he did. Because you read the tafsir in the Ahmadi Quran, and it says to you that after obviously round and round circles, many, many lines, it says, yes, and this verse can mean the coming of the promised Messiah, Mirza Ghulam of Qadian. How dare they do this? How dare they do this? Please, check all our, obviously, our other videos, inshallah. We've got a lot of videos covering a wide range of subjects, actually, from, the social aspects, people leaving Ahmadiyya and all this sort of thing, and to also direct written proofs from Mirza Ghulam's books, which we get from alislam.org, the official Ahmadiyya website. So, please check this sort of thing out, and inshallah we will carry on. We've got loads and loads of more videos coming, and we've got nothing to fear, me and my colleagues, alhamdulillah, because we don't lie about anything. We do not lie about anything, and we address everything head on. We address everything head on. And this is what led me and my colleagues, obviously, to leave Ahmadiyya in the first place, because we address everything head on, and when we realized that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's writings included such un-Islamic things, we left without any hesitation. So inshallah, please, you can leave a comment if you wish, no problem. Stay tuned for more videos, inshallah. This is Osama Said, telling you Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.